be writing, so I forgot about it. But I've always been a frustrated ham. I wanted to be an advertising man also. I love advertising.
I guess when I went to work for Marvel, which then was called Timely Comics, it was the very early 1940s.
I had an uncle named Robbie Solomon, and he worked for a publisher named Martin Goodman. Now, Martin was related to me in this way. He had married a cousin of mine, whom I didn't really know that we weren't good friends, but because of that, he was my cousin-in-law. That publishing company, which was called Magazine Management, they were looking for an assistant, they needed somebody for a job. And they published mystery books, girly books, sport books, all kind of books. And they also had a little comic book line. And I didn't know where they needed the assistant. It happened to be in the comic book line. So I was hired by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. And I was supposed to fill the inkwells. You know, they used ink in those days, and run down and buy them a sandwich and do proofreading, things like that. Joe was the editor, a writer, and an artist. Jack was an artist mainly, although he wrote also. But Joe was the senior member. They trusted me to write a story or two, and then I became a staff writer. In those early days, when I first started working for the company, and for quite a few years after, the post office had a rule that you couldn't call a comic book a magazine unless it had at least 2 pages of fiction, of prose in the magazine, with no illustrations, 2 pages of copy. And it was important to the publisher for our comics to be called magazines, because then he could mail them.
Hulk smash. Hulk swung
I
the.
don't remember the details, but that was the theory. So in order to be able to classify them as magazines,